Hello, I'm back at home. That's basically my basement. So this was an ordinary IBM day, which started at 4:45 a.m. in the morning, as you can see here. So, good morning, it's 4:45 a.m. I'm heading out to Munich. So I have an appointment at the Max Planck Institute. And also I'm visiting my team in Munich in the IoT center. So let's see how it goes. And now it's 11:15 p.m. So it's an ordinary IBM working day. No, just kidding. So this day was special, especially because I got the invitation from the Max Planck Institute in Munich to give a lecture on deep learning for their PhD students. So I was really enjoying the conversations. So I have done two lectures which impressed me. One lecture was at the National Institute of Technology in India, and there I got the best answers to my questions. But here at the Max Planck Institute, I got the best questions to my answers. So they have been really good at math, and some of those even came up with new ideas on how neural network training can be improved. Anyway, so I'm recording this footage here with my RX100, which is having a bit of a crappy autofocus, so you can see that in this video. And I'm recording audio now using my Rode Smart Lav Plus microphone on an old Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini, because my Fairphone 2 is kind of broken, so the microphone doesn't work, and also the external microphone like the Smart Lav Plus doesn't work. So I'm currently fixing that. You can see my progress in this video here, or maybe here. I'm not really sure. I need to get this sorted out. Anyway, so I want to talk about something different today, because maybe I will just sell off this crappy RX100 and this crappy Fairphone 2, who knows, and I will maybe buy a Samsung Galaxy S9 or a Huawei P20. Both have awesome cameras, and then in the spirit of a Fairphone, it's maybe better you just get rid of all your hardware and everything is concentrated in one device. One concern I have is, of course, I want to put Lineage OS, the free open source version of Android, on top of that devices. And as you know, the Galaxy S9 and especially the Huawei P20, they have those AI camera systems, and I'm not sure whether the open camera app is really creating such impressive footage on those cameras, because they have some combination of multiple sensors and multiple lenses and different color filters and different apertures and different focal lengths and so on. And with all that information, they create one better image. So I don't know whether an open camera app is capable of making use of those. And there's one thing I wanted to talk about. That's the concern about Huawei. So if you have read the news, US and the Trump regime is kind of against Huawei. And I'm asking myself why this is the case. So there are many explanations. So the official US explanation is that Huawei will put, or already has put, backdoors into their hardware. So how is this possible? So in Android devices and maybe also in Apple devices, there is this so-called system on a chip. That means that all the individual components you normally have on a computer, they are just in one single chip, and this includes also the network stack. And basically the operating system is just using a driver to communicate to that network stack, which is on the system on the chip, implemented in hardware. And it's hard to impossible to really see what's implemented in hardware. That means, of course, you are able to implement IP-based backdoor on such a system on a chip which regularly collects data and sends it to some IP address. So that's the concern which the US government has against Huawei, but actually there is no proof. So please tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I have really done a lot of research and I haven't found any proof that there is actually a backdoor in the Huawei system on a chip. And in contrast, there's another thing which concerns me, because there is a US law which says that every US-based company needs to deliver all their client data to the US government. So that's an official law, but on the other hand, the US is accusing China that the Chinese government can always get hands on the data of their companies like Huawei. So it's basically the same thing. So the US is accusing China for something which is part of the US laws. So that's not really fair. And then another theory is that maybe the NSA wants to put the backdoors into the phones and maybe China refused. So there, according to US law, there is most likely a backdoor in all Apple devices. And who knows if the South Korean government, so Samsung, is supporting US as well. So maybe there are backdoors on the Samsung hardware as well. And maybe the US is pissed off China because they are not able to implement backdoors into Huawei devices. So that's one theory. And of course the last theory is that now Huawei is gaining a lot of market share, and actually US is afraid of the Chinese competition and wants to protect their market. Yeah, and maybe the last theory is that it's actually true that there really is a backdoor in Huawei system on the chips, and that's a security threat. So I don't know, I still think if I want to use a Huawei P20 because the camera is great, I will do it. Please let me know in the comments what you think, but I think that's some sort of a hype and you shouldn't be too afraid. Okay, thanks a lot and have a nice evening.